Let's talk about everything to do with leave, whether you call it leave, vacation, time away, or some new Gen Z language. The main essence of it is about taking time away from work and what does the law ask of you as an employer to provide to your employees. So stick around and watch this entire episode to understand every leave type that the UAE labor law offers to employees. So let's start with the first one. And the first one we talk about in the UAE is public holidays. Public holidays in the UAE are really special because they're not predefined. At least not all of them are predefined. So public holidays are assumed to be a mix of holidays that are religious and holidays that are UAE specific. So the ones which are religious are based on the Islamic holidays and Islamic festivals such as Eid, Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr, and other Islamic holidays as well. And these holidays are generally moon dependent. So we don't get to know in advance when these holidays will fall. And these holidays could fall on a working day, on a leap day, on a weekend, etc. So most of us in the private sector out here wait for the announcement from the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratization or other publications to announce such holidays before we go and declare the holidays. So it's a process where we all look forward to these holidays, but we anticipate and very excitedly wait for the public holiday announcement that comes into our mailbox to say whether we have a long weekend or what sort of a holiday we have. So this is a common practice to manage public holidays. The other holidays are National Day, we had New Year's Day, and we had something called the Martyrs' Day. You have to remember that in the labor law, it talks about public holidays, but there's no list of public holidays that every company should be following. So even the law is based on a very flexible way of announcing holidays. So they will announce throughout the year and they expect private sector companies to apply those announcements into their organizations. So that's all about public holiday. Just keep that in mind while we go into the next holiday, which is about annual leave. Annual leave is basically an entitlement of every employee in your business to be taking for rest and relaxation and recuperation that's provided by the labor law. And the magic number or the number that the statutory leave talks about is 30 calendar days. That's right, it's not working days, it's 30 calendar days. And what do we mean by calendar days? Calendar days, by definition, is every day of the week, whether it's a weekend in your home country or whether it's a working day. So, and the calendar days can be changing if you like and have another interpretation of that. Let me explain. So, if somebody wants to go on leave and they started their leave and you have a working week of Monday to Friday and they've applied for leave on the time off is from Monday to Friday. Now, you would be thinking, what would be the actual leave that has been utilized? Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Or because it's 30 calendar days, it starts from the last day of work and it keeps on going till you come back to work. That could be the literal way of applying the calendar days. But that is not the reality in the UAE, and every company has made it more relatable to their own employees. So some take the weekend that's in the middle of their leave, and some take the literal meaning and apply all the days of the week. So you have to see what sits well with your company and your employees. Another way to do is to convert that into working days, and 30 calendar days comes to about 22 working days. So that way, and it's 22 working days if you have a Monday to Friday work week. But if you have a 6-day work week, then it's obviously not. So whatever the work week is, you divide it by that. So then you apply, if somebody goes, take that same example, if somebody goes only from Monday to Friday, then the number of days utilized is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 weeks. So that's easy. And a lot of HR systems are also aligned to that. So let's take an example where you are on calendar days, right? If a public holiday is announced in those calendar days, the normal scenario is it's part of the annual leave. You don't get a day in lieu because a public holiday falls in your annual leave. But if you apply a working day basis, then if a public holiday falls on a working day, then a day in lieu is a common way of addressing that. What happens when you fall sick and you are on annual leave? In the labor law, there is no requirement for you to recognize sick leave while you're on annual leave. Yeah. And one thing, when does annual leave really start? Like, when can somebody actually take annual leave? And when does one start accruing annual leave? These are other questions that also come up. So let's talk about accrual. Accrual is based on every month that the employee has worked in your organization. So if you take 30 calendar days, then it's 30 divided by 12. So every month worked, they are accruing 2.5 days for month worked. And you have to keep track of that because when they leave and they are not utilize it, you are obligated to pay that payment out. And that's what we call cash in lieu of annual leave or pay in lieu of annual leave. So that is on a calendar day basis. Similarly, if you're taking a working day model, the same number of days, divide that by 12. If it's a 22 working day scenario, then it's like 1.833 per month worked. So both those formulas have to be consistent to the way you talk about leave entitlement. Just keep that in mind. If it's a working day basis leave entitlement, then your accrual also needs to be working day basis. And the payout or the pay you of annual leave also has to be working day basis. Similarly, if somebody has taken 30 days leave but left before they have accrued the full 30 days, how do you work those numbers out? Because there's a recovery to be spoken of. So the same policy applies. If it is 30 days and you've taken calendar days, then the formula has to be calendar day basis for recovery, and working days, then it's supposed to be working days. So please remember this when you're doing your payroll calculations and your accruals and your recoveries. All of these have to be consistent for it to be compliant. If there is any other questions that are coming to mind for annual leave, please drop them in the comments and I hope I can answer them. So that was a lot about annual leave, right? If you want me to quickly recap, let me do that for you. We talked about what the labor law entitlement is, how to apply it in your organization based on calendar days or working days, how leave is accrued, how leave is utilized, how leave is paid out if not utilized, and how leave is recovered if it's overutilized and under accrued. And also, the last one is when does leave start? I think I missed that one, so let me go into that. So leave you can start by law after completion of probation period. So that's where you can actually take leave. But a lot of companies are becoming more and more flexible and they apply their own rules to it. But the eligibility of using what you've accrued is after completion of probation. Now, one more point that comes to mind is what if somebody has joined your company, you've given them leave, and they've left before they finished a year? Is there a different law or different rule that applies? And the answer is yes. There is a different rule because if you didn't finish a year, then the accrual formula that I told you about, which is based on 30 days, reduces to 2 days a month. So instead of 2.5 calendar days per month, it reduces to 2 days per month. So you adjust your calculations based on that. Again, I know this is a lot of information on annual leave, so I'm looking forward to some comments and some answers will obviously follow. Right, so that was now all about annual leave. It's time now to move to the next type of leave, which is also known as sick leave. Well, not also known, it is sick leave. But also we call it sickness absence leave because we don't consider sick leave as an entitlement, but it's like a benefit and a leave amount that you can utilize, employees can utilize when they are not feeling well and they are not feel like they're fit to come to work. So sick leave, a total of 90 days is available to employees to take towards sickness. But all 90 days are then broken down into full pay, which is for the first 15 days, half pay for the next 30 days, and next 45 days is unpaid. And the same sick leave is applicable whether you are unwell because of a physical sickness or a mental sickness. And one thing to remember is this is the entitlement for a full year, which is available to employees after completion of probation. And that's when the paid sick leave entitlement kicks in. And the last thing is, if you think that you have an employee that has, a sickness that is questioning their employability, the termination can only happen after they are completed the full 90 days of sickness. Anything before that would be considered as wrongful termination. So when somebody has fully utilized their 90 days, you have an opportunity there to check the employability of this employee for some time and then decide whether you want to continue the employment or not. So do keep that in mind. Any earlier termination is considered wrongful termination, and employees have the right to file a case in the courts, right? So that's a lot about sick leave. With again, questions, comments, please. And now we go to the third type of leave, which is about, not third, it's a fourth type of leave, right? So we did public holidays, annual leave, sick leave, and now we're in the fourth. So that's maternity leave. So maternity leave is available to all female employees, and that is a total of 60 days. The first 45 days is full pay, and the next 15 days is half pay. Sick leave that I spoke about, maternity leave that I'm speaking about, are all the days I've told you are all based on calendar days. And I've already told you how calendar days are, what's the definition of it. So maternity leave of 45 days, you can start to take even 2 weeks before the expected due date, right? So that's when you can start the leave. A common practice for female employees is to take their maternity leave and then also add their annual leave, but this is a practice and not a law-based provision. There are other types of maternity leave that female employees can take based on the medical conditions. This could be to help the child, and this could be to help the mother as well. So these are scenario-based, and they need to be supported by medical evidence to be able to avail this leave. And these sets of leave vary in number, and it could be paid or unpaid. So I think you should take some guidance when such situations happen. But the common one is 60 days broken down into 45 days full pay and 15 days half pay. Now, there's an element of when a female employee returns from maternity leave, they get 2 30-minute nursing breaks that they can utilize for a period of 6 months. Yeah. So that means the working hours tend to be adjusted to accommodate those nursing breaks. That's a lot about maternity leave as well. Again, please feel free to ask questions and we'll answer them in comments. Now, moving on from maternity leave, we go into what we call as parental leave. We don't have paternity leave, we have parental leave in the UAE, and that's 5 working days this time that can be used by either parent, the mother or the father, for 6 months, within 6 months from the birth of the child, right? So that's your parental leave. Now, we've covered parental leave, critical sickness leave, annual leave, public holidays, and now we move on to the sixth one. Okay, sixth one. And the sixth one we talk about is study leave. A study leave that is given to employees who have completed more than 2 years by law. They can get up to 10 working days of study leave to pursue their development and their education. But there are conditions around it that they should be studying in a qualified, recognized university by the authorities in the UAE. That's important, but you can apply this how it suits your business and your company as. Then we have bereavement leave. Bereavement leave is in case of death of a family member. And there are 2 levels of leave. 5 working days for your first degree relatives, which we will put in the show notes what they are, and 3 working days for the second degree relatives. So that's bereavement leave. And the last one, which is available to Emirati nationals, is National Service Based Sabbatical Leave, which is paid for bail employee Emirati nationals to go for military service. So these are all the leaves that we have in the UAE. I'm sure I've not missed any, but if I have, please share them in the comments below. And this is a long video, so I hope you enjoyed all the content, and I look forward to your views, subscriptions, and shares.